Hey guys, hope you all have been well. Welcome back to my channel. A little change of scenery. I didn't want to set up my lights. This series was started by Samantha March here on YouTube, and she started the Will I Buy It series, but this is the last day of my no buy. So after this video, I will start purchasing some stuff because that means that I'll get it come the new year. So first thing I see here is the Lunar New Year. There's going to be a lot of this, by the way. Golden Opulence Eyeshadow Palette by Pat McGrath. This is going to be limited edition. And I feel like Pat McGrath has been coming out with a lot of stuff. I know her palettes are very hyped and people talk specifically about their Transformer shades. I usually find like when you get a lot of palettes frequently, stuff starts to kind of look like each other. So I wouldn't get this either way, but it does come with a hefty price tag of $65. Etude House is coming up with the Lucky Together Tom & Jerry New Year collection. They've got a bunch of stuff in this collection: blushes, highlighters, face powders, primer, brow tints, lip balms, a palette, just a bunch of stuff. And the packaging is obviously Tom & Jerry themed. I'm not into thematic types of packaging or collections. I once was, but this doesn't pull me in any way. The shade selection, I would say, is very, very pretty, but the packaging itself is just a turnoff for me. So this wouldn't be something I would purchase anyways. But I think it's worth noting that I've never personally seen Etude House on Trendmood. It is a Korean brand, and so to see it on such a well-established page, I think that's pretty cool. Becca Cosmetics is coming out with what I think will be a limited edition product, and it is for the Lunar New Year, and it's their Shimmering Skin Perfector, and it'll be in Moonstone. It just basically has the embossing of the rat. This is gonna go for 39 bucks. I wanted to mention this because this is one of the highlighters that I really wanted to get and repurchase, because I love how, despite that it's pale, the yellow is pretty strong in it, so it doesn't make my skin ashy. But after getting rid of Champagne Pop and just knowing how pigmented this type of highlighter is, I wanted to ask you guys if you know of something that's very similar to this shade but is not as intense, because I would really like to know. I truly did love this highlighter. I just can't stand the intensity of it. We have Ofra Cosmetics coming out with a new eyeshadow palettes. They will be baked eyeshadows. I go back and forth with baked eyeshadows. I think for me, I need to feel the formula, and usually you can kind of tell what the finish would be like if you were to actually swatch the product. This is not the type of baked shadows that I personally like. I know that they're very opaque. I know that they will come off very vibrant. It's just not the desired baked formula that I usually prefer. The color scheme for this as well is not me. I would say there were two shades that are okay for me, but nothing that would really pique my interest or to want me to purchase it. So this will be a pass for me. But I know that Ofra is pretty known for their highlighters, so to kind of branch out, it's pretty interesting to see what their concept of an eyeshadow palette would look like, and it's very reminiscent of a lot of their other products. And this eyeshadow palette will retail for $29. BH Cosmetics coming out with the Digital Future eyeshadow palette. This is going to be 12 bucks. 12 bucks? That's so cheap. That's awesome. This eyeshadow palette is like a hit and a miss for me. If this didn't have those pops of color, maybe with the exception of that purple, I would be all about this, because I love those tones of browns, and I've been speaking about this neutral pink peach shades that I would really like to add more of into my collection. So those shades, like, I am all about it. But the two pinks and the blue really throw me off. So it's like almost a home run, but not quite. Here we go with Colorpop. It is the It's All Good eyeshadow palette with 30 eyeshadows, and this will be retailing for $30, and it includes shimmers and mattes. I saw their is it called Bare Necessities? I think that's what it's called. If I were to compare the two, I personally would go with the other palette. It's more neutral. That general theme is what I would prefer. I feel like there's more warmth and more color in this one. And it wouldn't be my go-to. I know that having some color would make perfect sense with such a big palette, but for me, I know what I like and I'm not a color person, generally speaking, so I would prefer the Bare Necessities. But I can see this being pretty popular because if we're talking popular shades, it's the neutrals with like the additions of pinks and purples. I feel like that is the sweet spot when we say an everyday palette now. It's the inclusion of those types of shades. So I mean, it's Colorpop. This will sell no matter what. But for me, I prefer the former release. Our last item on the list is going to be Fenty Beauty. And this is their, what do they call it? It's the stackable snapping ones. I'm not sure what it's actually called, but it comes in a series of 8 palettes with 6 shadows per palette. And I was looking at this and I like the concept. I think the selections of shades per palette is like spot on. I really think they did a great job at color selection, but a lot of this I already own or I don't think I would consider buying. I have a lot of eyeshadows and, since trying to curate my collection to be specific to me, I figured out what I like, and the things that I do like here, I already have. And I'm trying to refrain from constantly buying always the same color schemes. But Fenty has been like hitting it out of the ballpark. I think that Fenty is very up and coming when it comes to like beauty brands to go to. I feel like when it was Mac's time, Anastasia came to the forefront. And I feel like Fenty has been continuously coming out with really good products. With Anastasia, they came to the forefront with eyeshadow palettes. I feel like that's what they're known for. But Fenty has been having hits with many different categories. And so I really honestly think that there's only up and up for them. I hope that they continue to come out with really great quality and inclusive products because, I mean, they're just doing it, They're playing the game and they're playing it well. So big ups to Fenty. And the palette is $25 per palette. You can get 2 for $45. I think that's pretty fair for like a mid. Depending on how you cut the cake, it can be considered a mid-end to a high-end brand. So for one of these palettes to be $25, I think that's a pretty good deal. Okay guys, that concludes this Would I Buy It? I really do hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you want me to continue this series. I know that for me, I'm very selective with the makeup that I purchase, and a lot of the things that I end up wanting to buy were things I've already been thinking about and less of new releases. But let me know if you're still interested. I would still love to make these videos in the future and maybe maintain it as Would I Buy It? If you guys enjoy this makeup look, go ahead and head over to Instagram. There I will post a photo of the makeup look along with all the products in the caption. So be sure to check out the link down below. First one in the description box. Till the next video, I hope you all are doing well, taking great care of yourselves. I will see you all next time. Bye guys.